Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to an episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm super excited to come to you today with another fresh episode for your Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the jungle. And, man, it's wild, dude. It's wild what's going on right now. Just spring rush is kicking us in the behind. There's probably just like a lot of you guys. I know we're a little bit ahead of some of you. And, man, we're coming in hot and heavy today. Just right out of the gate, hopping into it. We are a couple weeks ahead of a lot of you guys up north and in the Midwest. I know down here in Alabama, we're a little ahead. We got warm quick this year, but I know we're going to get another late freeze, one or two this year for sure. It always happens later into May that we'll get something come through and we'll get all the nice, pretty spring flowers out, and then they'll all get eaten up because it'll freeze late on us and people won't cover them. And then that's just sad and depressing. But it's part of life. It's part of the way the climate works. So we just live with it and move on. But rocking and rolling. It's getting warm. It's getting sunny. And that means the phone starts ringing. And I kind of just want to talk today a little bit about some things that I'm seeing in our company and I'm seeing around that I know would be super easy to get into. And some areas that I want to address that I think you could recall that you could run into issues this year. Issues that I ran into last year that ended up really hurting me throughout the season long term, and I wouldn't want you to get into those now. So we're going to talk a little bit about lead flow today, gathering leads, look what that looks like, and then I also want to talk about a little bit about employees. This time last year, so quick recap on 2023 for us. We had a great year as far as just growth goes inside of the company. As far as bigger jobs. We got more we got more jobs in the pipeline. I was able to spend some time at home with Jack after his first year of like being born and stuff, and so that was super cool. I worked out of the field. I got myself out of the field a little bit for the mowing, and I was just pretty much doing the landscaping stuff. And so all of that to say, like, we had major employee struggles last year. It's all been documented. I've talked about it a million times. I'm not going to harp on it today, but if you are running into that this time of year and you kept people on all winter, or now spring rush is here and you got too much work to do and you can't keep up with it, I know the pain. I know the pain 100%. I know exactly what you're feeling, and I have been there. And so I can relate to you. There's not a lot of people that can to some like I take that back. There are plenty of people that can relate to you. Maybe they haven't done it as recently as I have. Maybe it was a couple years ago they went through it. And maybe they're going to go through it here in the next year or two. I went through it 12 months ago, so I'm right there in it with you. I totally understand. And so if you need a soundboard, if you need somebody to talk to anything about, I'm always here. I'm a message away, email away. I would help you any way that I can. We do consulting calls if you want to do one of those. Or we'll get on here for an hour and go over anything you want to. Those are in my bio on Instagram if you wanted to do that. But the thing that I just want to say is, like, I'm here for you. I understand what you're going through. If you need help, come talk about it. Like, get someone that can relate to it and has been through it and is on the other side of it now and can look back and say what you should, not what you should and shouldn't do. What I did and didn't do, and what worked for me and what didn't work for me. That's the way that I'm going to look at it. I'm never going to tell you what you should or should not do. I'm going to tell you what I did, what works, what has not worked, and then you can make your own decision based off that, being educated on that. So for us last year, we kept a guy on all winter, thought we were locked and loaded, ready to go into spring. Come spring rush, up and quits. Then we go through 2 or 3, 4 guys, just turnover, just trying to get bodies in the door. And we got behind, and we stayed behind all year long. So the reason I'm hitting on this is I had a buddy that's going through this right now, and he texted me just the other day and said, hey, look, this is what happened, this is what's up, and just kind of explaining the situation. And I was like, dude, I know. Like, I totally understand exactly how you feel. Had 2-3 guys lined up. Out of nowhere, they ended up quitting. And so that is so real across the industry. The labor is a true struggle, but it's not impossible to solve. And have I solved it 100%? Absolutely not. Like, I'm never going to come at you and tell you I've done something I haven't done. I have not solved the labor problem. Like, we're still figuring it out. What I have done is I've focused on building our culture and company from the inside out. And that means making changes where changes are needed, not just immediately replacing guys. I've got a core group of 3 right now that I'm really trying, I think could have bright futures. And it's been a lot of nurturing. It's been a lot of just like going through problems, going through things. And I've talked about it here on the show before. I have looked at it and said, where is my training failed? Where am I lacking in that area? And where is that being passed on to them? And in doing that, you sit back and look and say, wow, a lot of this is actually probably on myself. And so my focus right now is I'm not cleaning house. I have a good group of guys that I think that we can really turn into something. It's on me to focus my time and energy on training them correctly right now. And that goes down to maybe they know how to do the field work, but like in all of the Element onboarding that we're doing, getting them used to the Element Crew app, getting used to clocking in and clocking out of unbillable drive time and on-site time on each job, so we have that documentation. We're going to talk about that in a whole different show probably about a super important piece that we all talk about you should be doing, but is actually more important than I ever noticed when you get ready to upgrade softwares or switch software. So stay tuned for that. And if I forget to talk about it in a week, shoot me a message in DM and say, hey, talk about that because I forgot. But it's super important that you do that. So what I'm doing now is just training from the inside out. And it's not necessarily a hard process to do it from the inside out. It's just time consuming. But time consuming right now in the spring, I know it's hard. It's hard to devote that time. It's hard to allot that, allocate it to doing this. But I promise you it's going to save you time and money in the long run. We spent entirely too much money on labor last year for what our revenue was. And that is a huge factor and part of I lacked in the training aspect. I didn't get our guys prepared for spring. I didn't build the company that I wanted, and I take the blame in the fall for that. And so now going into this year, we're resetting. We're going back to ground zero. We're looking at the basics. We're saying, hey, you come to work for yourself every day. This is a thing that Mark Bradley, if you listen to anything he talks about, he says this all the time. Everybody is an entrepreneur. They all get up to go to work for themselves every single day. They're just doing it within your company. They're doing it with you. And when you get that mindset that they are doing it for themselves, to work for themselves, their future, their family's future, and you can translate that to them, even maybe they don't understand it yet, that's why, but that is why they do it. When you can translate that to them and talk to them about how you care about their future, you want to invest in them, you want to grow them, you want to train them, you want to actually invest and see them grow, then that is usually when you see if you got people that want to stick around versus people that want to dip out. They're just there for the money. Because if people want to stick around and actually grow their life and their family, then they're probably going to stick through and actually stay with you if you actually show that you want to do those things and do what you say you're going to do. So in that process, it's just like talking about the future. What does the future look like? We're spinning the dream. We're creating the company that we want to go towards. And that comes down to the daily task. The daily task of as soon as you get to the lot in the morning, you clock into unbillable time. When you get to your first yard, you clock out and you clock into the first yard, and you're in and out all day long. And it's a lot of little menial tasks. But guess what? We're creating a standard operating procedure that just gets done every day, and it's hard to do for guys that have been in your company for over a year that have never done it that way. It's hard to make that switch. But guess what? If you can make that switch successfully, train them, show them the benefit in it, like that's the thing. Like in this process of changing, I'm not just saying you have to do this. This is a new software, and if you don't do it, you get fired. That's not my goal in this. My goal in this is to say, hey, look, we're doing this so we can track our time better, so I can better estimate how long we're going to be on properties. I can better set you up for success while you're out on a route instead of scheduling 12 properties and you're only getting 9 done, and then me being mad that you didn't get 12 done, when we have accurate times, that route's going to tell me how long that's going to take with all those yards and the drive time factored in, and it's going to allow me to actually schedule the route effectively. It's going to help us know when we need to start a second crew, when you're being overworked. Like, I'm helping you out in this situation. You are helping you in this situation. Like, when they get on there, when they figure out that they're helping themselves, I feel like that's when you're really going to see a shift. And I'm hoping we see that. I'm hoping that comes through. And I think it will. I'm pretty confident in it because I know that they will, when they get to that point, they're going to say, oh, man, this is nice. Like, I'm actually figuring it out. We're making more money. We're hitting our hours. And when you base it on, hey, you're going to make more money based on the amount of money make per hour for the company, then like you're going to in turn see that profit as well and those bonuses. Then they're going to be incentivized to work harder and hit those goals and those targets. But that comes back to me training them the right way and creating a future for them. And so that's just kind of a little employee tangent that I wanted to go off on for a second, because I know that if you're struggling, I know what it's been like. I know it's not easy. Keep your head up, keep pushing, and you're going to get through it, whether you believe it or not. So, oh man, my throat is dry. But has anybody ever tried to sit and talk to themselves for 30 minutes? Talk to a blank wall or a computer screen? Like, your mouth gets dry. You get tired. So I'm fired up though. Like, if you can't tell it in my voice, the last couple of days, the last couple of shows, like this year, I'm just pumped. Like, we have the best goals that we've ever set, and we're going to do everything we can to reach those goals. We're going to try to attain them. We're going to put people around us to help us get there. Like, all of those things along the way are just going to help catapult us into the future. And maybe it's not this year that we actually hit our sales goal, but it's a step in the process. And we're going to do everything we can. Again, this is not me like a cop-out. Oh, we're not going to hit it. It's okay. We're going to go for it. We're going all in. We're going after it. But I know that I'm not going to look at it and say, man, I'm a failure if I don't hit it. And that kind of goes back to something I said about 75 hard when we were doing that. I feel like a lot of people get so ingrained in like the rules of 75 hard that if you fail, you look at it as a failure. And like, if you miss your reading or your water intake on day 57, like, that's not a failure. For 57 days, you've totally changed your life and potentially transformed yourself forever. That's not a failure. Just because you missed a step in a program, it's not a failure. And so, like, that really bugs me about it. Like, I love the program. I think it's very beneficial. That if there's one thing that I can't stand about it is that right there, because I see so many people like crying and upset and like in depression that they failed. And yeah, it sucks. You didn't hit your goal. But the processes that you put in place along the way genuinely probably help transform your life and your future. If we don't hit 630 this year in sales, the processes and the steps we're putting in place right now to help us get there is going to change our business in the future for the rest of time. And like, that is a win in and of itself. And so is it a failure if you don't hit a goal? No. Because what did you take and learn from it along the way? What did you learn that you could have done better? What did I learn last year? Was it a failure that I spent too much money on labor and we didn't make enough and we didn't sell enough work? Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to make more money, but we still turned a profit. I took a paycheck, and our business still grew exponentially in revenue. And so at the end of the day, what do I learn? I learned, hey, we spend too much on labor. This year, I've got to focus on building our culture. I've got to focus on getting the right people in place early on. And if they're not in place, not going and filling bodies. That's the second half of what I was saying a minute ago. If you're in that boat of you have guys drop out, you have guys leave, and you're like, what are we going to do? How are we going to get through this? Don't just go throwing bodies in place to run a trimmer, sling some mulch, run a mower. I understand if you got to get some part-time help to get you through some on the weekends or something like that, just to help you get the work done. Do not let that turn into a full-time gig. And when I say turn into a full-time gig, I mean don't let that turn into a full-time gig without training and transformation in that process. So don't just bring some part-time guy in, let them slack, let them be late, let them not wear the right things, show up on time, all the stuff that goes into being a good employee and running an efficient company. Don't let all that stuff go by because, hey, at least he does show up, at least he does know what to do, and at least we're getting work done. That's so easy to do. I'm staring at myself saying, it's so easy to do. I'm literally looking at myself on the computer screen. That's so easy to do. I did it. I can look back on myself and say, that was dumb. We survived, but that was dumb. And now I learned we're not going to do that in the future. And so I implore you, please just learn from whatever mistakes you make this season. You're going to make them. I'm going to make them. We're all going to make them. It's part of being in business together. And so as you're in business, as you're growing, you're going to learn along the way. You're going to learn a lot along the way. I know so much more than I did 6 years ago when I started my company. Like, it's not even funny. Like, it is literally, actually, it is funny. It's comical how much I thought I had figured out then and, like, nothing. And in 5 more years, I'm going to say it's comical how much I thought I had figured out at year 6, and in 10 years, and in 20 years, and in 30 years, and in 40 years. Hopefully I'm like living on a private island in Barbados or something. And I'm going to be like, man, I remember when I sat in the office, looked at the computer screen and said, don't let a guy turn into a full-time position without training and transformation. And it's like, those are the things that you put in place, though, to take you to a new level and a new height. And if you can't do the little things, how are you going to achieve the big things when those come? And so you've heard us talk about Element, the switch to Element, all the things that have going on with that. If you follow along with Brian Fullerton, like me and Brian are good friends. We talk multiple times a week just about life, business, everything in between. Brian is onboarding with Element as well. It's so cool to see like that we're all making a shift this way. And I implore you to just follow along with this content. I'm going to preface this though. And give you a warning, words of advice right here, like big red letters, warning, signing across the top here. I'm never going to turn you away from LMN. I'm going to tell you, you need to be prepared for LMN. And I hope that you can take that and actually understand what I'm saying here. I'm not telling you to waste a whole year's worth of potential money that you could be making that you're missing out on, or potentially doing yourself a negative if you're pricing that bad and you're in the negative, you're not even turning any profit. I'm not telling you put all that on hold till next winter. What I'm telling you is if you are onboarding with other men right now, you have to devote time to the onboard process. And you have to devote time to actually doing the imports, doing the learning, sitting down in front of it, getting used to the user interface. It is not Yardbook. It is not Jobber. It is not an Excel sheet. It is not a Yellow Pages notebook. All right? It's not. It is a software and a system to change your business. And so when you make that switch, make sure you're prepared for what that comes with and what that entails. And if you got any more questions about it, again, I'm happy to answer, happy to help out with you any way that I can. Go for it. Go for it. We're going to have a code at Jeremiah that's going to be live, I think, today or tomorrow or whenever you're listening. It's here soon. So if you're thinking about switching, mention our name, save some money, okay, and move on with life. I don't even know if you save money. I think we get a kickback. I know we get a kickback from it, but that just kind of goes back into this. That goes into the podcast, putting out more content for everyone to benefit from here. So we would appreciate the support. I would love that. I'm not going to sit here and say I wouldn't. I would love that. If you decide to go that way and you think that we helped you and helped to educate you on this stuff, then I would love a mention. That's not what I'm in it for, though. I'm in it to actually change my business and help you change yours along the way by being open and sharing what we're going through. And so we're in this onboard process right now. It's very strenuous. It's very and I say strenuous. It's really not. They have a great team. They have a great service team that's helping guide you through everything. Like anything you can need or want in this process, they're going to help you with. What I say by strenuous is it's very time consuming and it's information overload. And so you have to be prepared to be able to take that in. The reason that it scares me for a lot of guys is don't get caught up on don't let the shiny numbers, the budgets, all that stuff slap you in the face and be like, "Oh, this looks great." You need a budget. You need that stuff. I'm not telling you don't need it. Please do not take it that way. What I'm saying is just devote the time to it, because I'm telling you, I did it. Again, I'm sharing my real life wins and losses with you all. Wins and learns, not losses, because I learned from them. Last year, I did this exact same thing with Synced Up. I did the onboard in the wintertime. I didn't devote the time that I should have, and I ended up canceling 3 months later. Partially, it didn't fit my company, and the maintenance side didn't at the time. Great product, it just didn't fit my company at the time. That was part of the reason. The other part was because I didn't devote the time that I needed to the onboarding. And so I know that I'm not letting that happen this time. We're devoting literally hours a week, like 5 to 7 hours per week right now on the onboard process. And you could do more than that and still not have it all figured out. So if you do it as soon as you can, or get the free version, set up a budget, get in it and work, and maybe onboard in like June, end of May into June, when it's not like spring rush season, because you can get in that summer groove, you can get in that flow of things. That's the slower season for their service team, so they might be able to give you some more hands-on help than they would right now. Again, I'm not telling you put your profits, like your money on hold that you could be missing out on. If you don't know your numbers, you don't figure it out, and you say, man, I'm losing money, then hey, do it, devote the time, and figure it out and change your company. But if you're doing good and you cannot devote the time to it, just be careful, because I'm just scared that a lot of guys are going to go this way and hear us talk about it, and it's great, it's awesome, I love it. I'm never going to speak bad about it, because it's going to change your company if you actually do it. But what's going to happen is you're going to say, all right, let's do it. You're going to spend the money, the onboarding fee, the monthly fee. It's not a cheap product. You're getting a lot of value out of it. But you're going to do all that, and then you're going to say, man, this is too much work. And then you're going to get flustered and mad, because you're going to waste $1,500 of onboarding. You're going to waste $400 a month worth of software. You're going to get about $3,000 deep, and then be like, man, that was $3,000 wasted because I didn't do it. That sucks. I don't have the time for it. And so just avoid that. That's what I'm like begging you to do, is like, don't do that. Don't avoid the software. I'm just saying avoid the the carefree, not taking time to actually do the onboard and get into it and learn it. So I don't even know how I got down that path. I don't even know how I got down that tangent of Element there. And it's not a tangent. We're going to talk about it more and more each and every show as we walk through. I'm learning. I'm growing. I know Brian just did his live budget walkthrough with Mark, and that was super cool. If you didn't get to check that out, I think it's up on his YouTube channel, posted there. Go look at the replay, and you can kind of see the ins and the outs of it. We'll share some of our stuff as we walk through, kind of share the ins and the outs any way that we can. We'll be open and honest. And as I transition here towards the end of the show, it's short Friday show here. I know the last couple shows have been shorter, but I'm so amped up and man, I'm ready to go. If you can't tell my voice, I'm ready, I'm happy, I'm excited for the year ahead. I give it all for 20, 25 minutes, and I'm by the end of 25, 30 minutes, I'm like, oh man, this is tiring. They say pastors burn more calories preaching a sermon than sprinters do on a run. And so I don't know, that may be true, but you sit up there and talk for 45 minutes, and you're gonna feel yourself how tired you actually get. But the transition from Element, so that goes from guys that transition to Element, the whole crew app, the onboard there, the training, the green, yes, all that is all in one there. I want to transition over into lead flow a little bit. What we're doing this year, what changes we're making real time. We just spent a pretty good chunk of money on Facebook ads for the month of, we're in midway through March. It was probably the whole month of April and half of March. We spent on a pretty good bit of money on probably about $1,000 on Facebook ads. And they generated leads. They didn't generate the leads that I wanted, and they didn't hit our target customers that I want to hit. Now, part of that could have been our copy. Part of it could have been our images. I'm not sure. I'm not for sure on that, but I'm not 100% sold that was the reason, because we got 10 or 12 leads off of it, but none of them panned out. Half of them didn't answer the phone. Half of them didn't even realize they filled the form out. It was a bunch of old people that were scrolling, saw a pretty picture of a lawn and filled out a form. And it's that's no good. And so I kind of hit pause on that. And I didn't hit pause because we weren't generating enough leads. We were generating leads. It was the quality of leads was not any good at all. And that's where I was concerned. I was like, we got to put the brakes on this. I can't keep spending money here if we're not getting actual quality leads. And because I was down to test, I was like, we're going to test. If we don't get leads like for the first month, it's okay. We're going to test it for 3 months minimum. We got the leads, they just weren't any good. And so we're going to pivot that. And I'm almost 99% positive we're going to shift that into our SEO. We're going to put our money that we were spending on Facebook ads over into SEO optimization and Google business updates and things like that. Possibly creating more backlinks for our site, creating more landing pages and things that have our site on them. And I'm still figuring all that out. But got on the phone with Brandon Bull the other day. Adam over there built our website, Adam and Lauren. Great team over there. If you need a website or anything, reach out to them. Let them know that we sent you and you'll save some money there as well. But got on the phone with them and we just kind of talked through some things and really just starting to realize more and more the importance of SEO and how intricate that actually is. SEO is not just like setting up a good looking website. There's much, much more to it. It's the coding, it's the keywords, it's the backlinks, it's how people view it, it's how many people view it on Google. Like, so much stuff goes into it. Location, tags, all this stuff. And so our form submissions from our website have actually increased in the past 3 weeks. And so part of that is probably due to the weather change. But we made a few. I know that I got Adam and them to change a few keywords around, and like I'm seeing improvement from it. So I'm saying, hey, and here's the thing. Every one of those website form submissions have been quality leads, like amazing leads. Like already we closed one job on there. It's paid for the whole website, paid for everything in one job. And so I'm thinking, let's spend our money here. Because here's my goal this year and in really the next 5 years is probably this goal is what it's going to take to get there. But like, I want to be the company in Trussville. Like, Growing Green Landscapes will be the company that everybody thinks of when they think of Trussville landscaping and lawn care. And it's going to take some while to do that. We've got no joke, guys. This might be the case in some of your areas. I'm not sure. I promise you when I say this, each and every lawn care and landscape post on Facebook, if these are weird pauses in here, forgive me. My throat is like going out, my voice is going, and I'm like hacking and coughing, so I'm having to pause in between, trying to keep it flowing though. Each and every Facebook post that says looking for lawn care, looking for landscape in our local What's Happening groups, the probably 4 or 5 surrounding cities that are around us, no joke, within an hour have 50 comments on them of at least 35 to 40 different companies or individuals in a 5 to 10 mile radius. Like, it is so saturated. That's not going to stop me though. It's not going to stop me. Like, we're going to the top. We will be the company that everyone knows. We will be the company that is the best in the area, and we will be the company that is top of market, top of mind. Brand is everything. We are Trussville. And so, if anybody's listening that's in our area, sorry guys, get out the way. We're coming. We'll be friends with you and take you to the top along with us, but we're coming and we're not stopping. And so, I just want you to do the same in your area this year. Like, take it, run with it, be your company, be your brand, take over your area. And I believe right now that our best way to do that is going to be really, really focus on our website. And I probably shouldn't be putting that out there because that's what other people in our area are going to start doing now. But hey, we're all going to the top together, guys. There's 3, 4, 5 of you that probably listen local, if that. And so we'll go to the top. If you're taking the time to listen, let's go. Let's run this thing. Let's get the bottom feeders out of there and let's take our companies to the top. Plenty of work to go around. And so I just beg you, take the time to onboard with LMN. Take the time to train the employees. Take the time to figure out what your marketing plan needs to be. And that's, again, like, we had a marketing plan a month ago. That marketing plan is going to shift now. We're adapting and we're going with it. We're figuring out along the way. But we're trying to plan out and get things in place, not just sit there and look and twiddle our thumbs. We're getting leads in the door. I'm getting 2 to 3 a day right now, pretty consistently, honestly. And one, I've got to do a good job of selling. And there's, like, guys, I'm telling you, there's so much to talk about on the show. I've got a Monday, Wednesday, Friday show already planned out just from crap that happened this week. And it's like, it's just so fun. Like, this has been an awesome last 2 weeks. Getting leads in the door, getting estimates sent out, getting on board with LMN, seeing the guys start mowing, training them, teaching them, growing together, working on the land. Like, it's just so awesome. And it's not to say it's not tough. Like, I've been up till midnight every night the last week sending out estimates and getting routes put together. But it's just part of it. It's part of the hustle. It's part of the grind. And so if you're along for the ride, if you're going to do this in your company, know what it takes. Know it's not easy. It's not going to happen overnight. I'm 6 years in. But guess what? You could be year 1 or 2 in, and you could change this and do this right now. And so don't waste time. Don't wait till you're 15, 20 years in. Do it right now. If you are 15 or 20 years in, don't look at the last 20 years and say, well, I've got too much time on me. I can't change. Make the change now. Like, I posted an Instagram story today that was so simple, but so, like, just real. And all it is a simple statement. You can always just make the decision to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Up to you. All right? You can always just make the decision to do whatever you want. Did I write? Did I type this wrong? No, I say this. You can always just make the decision to do whatever you want, to do whenever you want to do it. I wrote this wrong. How did I write this? How did nobody say this? You can always just make the decision to do whatever you want, whenever you want to do it. Oh, no. Okay. See, this is why the English language needs punctuation. All right. It's the enunciation here. I should have put a comma. You can always just make the decision to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. The English language is crazy, guys. We had a spelling bee last Monday. Now we're going through enunciation and punctuation. Welcome to the show. The statement here, dramatic pause. You can always just make the decision to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. It's that simple. It's just a decision. We had a whole podcast 2 weeks ago. Business is just a game of decisions. Like, that's all it is. You can make the change today if you want to. And so if you're down for that, you follow along with our content, every other person's content that's creating and growing businesses this year, like, get on, guys. Like, let's go. Let's take your company. Let's take it. Let's run with it. Top line of the moon, baby. But not without a profit on the bottom. Don't forget that. All right. Look, it's been a fun show. My voice is gone. I'm about to start hacking on here, and you don't want to hear any of that. I hope this brought you some value. I hope it was real. If it did, actually leave us a review this time. Means the world to us when we actually get those, because I feel like what we're doing is not in vain. And I know that this time of year can get really stressful. You can get really backed up. You can get really overwhelmed. And if you're at that point, just know you got somebody to talk to. Shoot me a message. Shoot me an email. I'll help you however I can. Shoot somebody else on Instagram a DM that you've gotten to be friends with in the community. Like, just do it. It's worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it to take the time, invest in community, invest in yourself, and you're going to see tremendous returns from that down the road. Guys, I super appreciate the show, the ability to do the show each and every week for you guys. It means the world that we get to have a voice to come out and just share our experiences, our wins, our trials, everything in between. It's so near and dear to my heart. I love it. I don't see us going anywhere anytime soon except right here 3 times a week, showing up, showing out, telling you what we're going through, and helping you grow your company each and every day. Means the world that you listen. Leave us a big 5-star rating review if you actually do enjoy it, and that'll help us continue to grow the community one relationship at a time. But I'm going to tell you what, it's Friday. Have a great weekend. Without any further ado, that's going to wrap this one up. I look forward to everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.